can't believe this is working. Are they that dumb?
They're just dumb enough that you haven't made them suspicious yet. Quiet yourself.
You see, our party is currently caught up in the bureaucratic drama of two clans of Bullywugs. Originally, they just wanted to get from their hometown to a kingdom a couple days off, and Lightningfoot absolutely swore that cutting through the swamp would shave off 2 days from the trip. He also absolutely swears that the Bullywugs weren't here last time, a strange promise since up to this point they have seemed to revere him as some sort of long-lost god. Of course, on second thought, he did eat some weird mushrooms last time and may have blacked out a bit. A piece of information that would have been useful before they wandered through a strange and honestly gross swamp. But here they are, standing on a wooden platform, Lightningfoot wearing a mantle of leaves, and about a dozen Bullywugs are dancing around them and then pointing across the swamp to another group of frogmen, assumedly asking for some sort of divine justice. And it's not that our party doesn't have the ability to combat a small tribe of amphibious humanoids, it's more so that their travel was time sensitive and this side venture is wasting way too much of it, and so they stand on their stage, watching the creatures dance and offer things, wondering how in the 9 hells they can get out of this efficiently. The Bullywug. The life of a Bullywug is primal. They're wet and gross monsters. In order to survive, they have to maintain this status of wetness, and so they make their beds in areas like swamps, damp caves, and rainforests. As far as primal goes, they spend their days always hungry and searching for food, and they're evil through and through. Cowardly hunters, they rely on superior numbers as opposed to great strategy and skill. They quickly flee prey that show themselves defensive and powerful, opting more for weak targets, things easily overwhelmed. The skin of a Bullywug is going to be green, gray, or a muddy yellow. They'll also have undertones of gray, green, and brown, all for the purpose of camouflaging themselves with their local flora. They wear simple, crudely made armor, and wield basic weapons. They also have a painful bite for those that fall within range. Despite how it may seem, Bullywugs have a distinct aristocracy. They believe they rule the swamps, and revere their rulers above themselves. They have methodology for communication with outsiders and other Bullywugs, normally a methodology decided by their ruler, or Lord of the Muck, as they're so eloquently known. They seem to act as if they're a high society and introduce themselves using over-the-top titles and put grand precedent on shows of bowing and debasing to superiors, and all they care for is winning the approval of said superiors. There are 2 main ways a Bullywug moves up in society. The easiest would be to kill its higher up and take their place, though they would have to take careful steps to hide all evidence throughout their lifetimes. The other method is to find a treasure or special item that can be used as a tribute to its muck lord. If evidence arises that a Bullywug killed a superior to move up in the ranks, they would be killed. And so, they usually resort to causing warfare between clans and killing their lieges in the confusion, or raiding traveling caravans for offerings. Offerings that get treated poorly by the filthy savages and end up just as muddy and useless as standard swamp juice. Once the treasure is filthied, the lords of the swamp demand more tribute from their lessers. Bullywugs take great joy in proving dominance over intruders, finding killing them boring. If these amphibians do manage to capture intruders, they normally drag them to their ruler, that commonly being the largest Bullywug in the clan, and then have those captives beg for mercy. A fact in favor of the captives is that the Lord of the Swamp can be easily persuaded to let the captives go if offered gifts of treasure, flattery, and gold. Though, if you succeed at this task, you'll have to suffer through the Swamp Lord bragging about his collection of treasures. Though I would wager that that fate is more preferable than death. They feel the need to show off so desperately because of inferiority complexes. They're far too aware that they're simple muck people and it weighs on them, and so they desire fear and respect of everything. Being that they're amphibious, they can communicate over great distances using a croaking language and maintain rapid communications over all of their territory as a result. Assumedly, to no great surprise, our froggy friends can communicate basic concepts to normal frogs, and they use this to their advantage to train giant frogs as guardians and mounts. The frog's capability to nearly inhale their prey a grand boon in combat and transportation of prisoners and loot. On to the stat block. The Bullywug is a medium humanoid, neutral evil. Yes, that's right. These things are on par with humans in terms of scale. They have an armor class of 15 due to a mixture of hide armor and shield. They have 2d8 plus 2, or 11 average HP. They have a walking speed of 20 feet, but a swimming speed of 40 feet. They have 12 strength, a plus 1 bonus, 12 dexterity, a plus 1 bonus, 13 constitution, a plus 1 bonus, 7 intelligence, a negative 2 detriment, 10 wisdom, no bonus, and 7 charisma, a negative 2 detriment. They have a plus 3 to their stealth skill and have a passive perception of 10. They speak the Bullywug language and have a challenge rating of 1/4, valuing them at 50 experience per frogman. Bullywugs are amphibious. They can breathe air and water. And, as mentioned previously, they can speak with both frogs and toads. They have advantage on stealth checks made in swampy areas. The Bullywug can long jump 20 feet and vertically 10 feet. This is with or without running or walking. You'll find our frog humanoids have 3 actions, the first being multi-attack. The Bullywug makes 2 weapon attacks per turn. Their first attack is a bite, a melee weapon attack with a plus 3 to hit and a 5-foot reach, 1 target. On hit, they deal 1d4 plus 1, or 3 average bludgeoning damage. Lastly, they have a spear, a melee or ranged weapon attack with a plus 3 to hit and a melee range of 5 feet, or a throwing range of between 20 and 60 feet. Outside of this range, attacks are made with disadvantage, 1 target. On melee hit, the attack deals 1d8 plus 1, or 5 average piercing damage. On ranged hit, the attack deals 1d6 plus 1, or 4 average piercing damage. After what felt like hours of Lightningfoot confidently grunting and gesturing to his loyal frog thralls, and then even more hours of the current Lord of the Swamp responding with more gestures and even a little bit of gold, the gang finally is able to make their way out. I was worried that would get violent. Lightningfoot chortles in response.
What? Don't think I know my way around frog people?
I don't know. I didn't even know you've met frog people before.
Well, like I said, I ate some weird mushrooms last time I came through here, so I did a handful of things I don't really remember that day.
A small gasp escapes Tarkin's mouth. You don't, perchance, remember what those mushrooms looked like, do ya?
I do, actually. Deep brown with 3 white stripes. Why?
Tarkin's eyes silently widen as he examines the mushrooms he's been eating, the fungus bearing a concerning resemblance to Footy's description. No reason, really. Just, I might need some supervision soon. That's all.